Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on our beautiful property in sunny Portugal. I have one major job that I want to get on with today, and it's going to warm me up because it is a little bit chilly this morning and it's quite breezy, but I better get on with it.
We're the indie projects, Bee and Theo. In 2017, we bought an abandoned property in Central Portugal and spent the last few years turning it into a fully fledged homestead, converting an old stone barn into a cosy tiny home. Working non-stop and overcoming many obstacles, it turned out better than we ever could have imagined. As one chapter closes, another one begins. Our dreams of living even more remotely in a fairy tale forest with space for animals to roam and our passions to grow became a reality. Before we have even moved there, it was devastated by a huge wildfire, drastically altering the landscape. Immense flash floods followed as the land couldn't hold onto the water. Follow us as we carve out our new life on Miracle Mountain.
So as you can tell, I'm on my own, and I'm gonna be on my own for the rest of this weekend because Bee has flown back to the UK, and it's not what you're thinking. She has flown back to the UK to go to her cousin's Eurovision Song Contest party that they're throwing at their house. I can't get my mind around it because I am not into Eurovision Song Contest at all, but Bee absolutely loves it. It makes her happy, and that is the main thing. She's gonna have fun seeing friends and family. It's been a long while, and then she'll be back. But while she's gone, I've got loads of jobs to get stuck in with. So I don't know if you guys can remember, but the water tanks behind me used to be halfway up the mountain, and they were the drinking water for our house. But unfortunately, in the fire, they got damaged, so they can no longer be used for drinking water for human consumption, but they can be used for other things. The wind has really picked up, but this morning, before breakfast, I went up the mountainside to the location of where these tanks used to be stored to see if I could find any parts that I could reuse. And you can see this one right here. This is completely melted and unusable. But what I did find is these two. I've got two with a valve that fit the threads that I need on the bottom of these tanks. So that's perfect. And then all I need to do is find a few other parts that I think I probably have tucked away in the workshop. So I'm going to put these two valves in the back of the UTV because I'll be needing them later. And I've just realised that I've not even explained what I'm actually going to do today. But I need to move this tank yet again, and they're super heavy to move on your own. And this is going to be the new, I think it's 2,000 litres of water for our goats. So they're going to have lots of water on demand, which is going to be great. It's easier for them and it's easier for us. This is actually not too heavy when you're rolling it on a flat surface or downhill, but once you start getting an incline, it feels really, really heavy. I remember that from before. Luckily, I got a nice tarmac road to wheel it up. Not far to go until I get to this tap that I'm going to use to clean it out, because it's been sitting for a long time and I want the water in here to be as clean as possible for the goats. So you can see why I want to clean the inside of the tank. It's not that bad, to be honest, but you can see on the inside there's just loads of flaky and dried algae. That's all it is. I'll clean that out, no problem now, with the hose pipe. Got a little bit of a leak, but I'll run with it. I am covered head to toe in water. That leak from the tap soaked me. So now I need to try and flip this on its side, if I can. Shake all that water out. It's looking way cleaner already. The next part of the process, I think if I use this really strong bristled brush, I can get the majority of the rest of it off. Oh, that's working a treat. Nice. I'm not aiming for perfection, but just to make it so none of the loose stuff is left that can fall off into the water.
Fluetti have sent us their compact yet powerful EB70 portable power station, and it's been super handy. With a massive 716 watt-hour capacity and 1000 watt rated wattage, it's the perfect addition to camping trips, outdoor adventures, or even just as a backup power source during power outages.
As you know, I'm regularly out and about across the property using tools, and it's impossible to keep everything charged at once. I've been keeping the Fluetti in the UTV with me to charge batteries. With its 230 volt AC outlets, it's been a lifesaver. It even has a wireless charging pad, so I can just pop my phone on top of it and keep my phone battery topped up at all times.
The Bluetti EB70 can be charged via solar panels in only 3 to 4 hours, by mains AC wall outlet in 3 to 4 hours, or even a 12-volt carport in 7 to 8 hours. You'll get over 2,500 life cycles out of it, but it also has 2 PD ports, 2 USB-A ports, and 2 12-volt DC outputs. So if you're looking for a high-quality portable power station, be sure to check out the Bluetti EB70 by clicking the link in our description.
I'm actually so surprised how well it cleaned out. It looks almost like a brand new tank, and now I've just got to roll it about 50 meters into position. So now I need to try and get through this small gap between fig trees. Might end up taking a couple of branches off, but that's all right. So the plan is to have it up here because this is a great location because it's a lot higher than where the goats are. So I can gravity feed their water straight to where I need it. But I'm going to carry on a little bit down here. One last fig tree to battle with. So I've just battled with the last fig tree, and I think right around here is the perfect resting point because under this big fig tree gets shade most of the day. When the sun's at its highest and the hottest, this area will be shaded, which means this water tank's going to stay nice and cool all throughout the summer. This was the tool I was after. If you own a big property, always put your tools back. So while we're up here on the mountainside, I thought I'd give you guys a little update on how the pond is doing. The wind is really going for it today, but this area by the pond is one of my absolute favourites. And look at this, we got some wildflowers starting to grow, and look at all that green grass. And the water is so clear. I can see the fish are doing really well. Loads of frogs, loads of other wildlife. What a beautiful place. It really is. And the sound of the water trickling in, it's just incredible. Definitely need to put a bench here soon for the summer. I don't know if you guys can see that, but all of the frogs are jumping in. And over there in the distance is loads of fish. Really cool. Really, really cool. And look at all of this growing up on the bank. Soon this is just going to be such a beautiful area full of grassy banks, clear waters, the sun's shining. What more can you ask for, really? Right, I'm going to jump back in the UTV and get going because I need to get this water tank set up ASAP. So all I'm going to do first is just remove all of the old PTFE tape that's just been whacked on there. It's not in good condition, so I'm just going to redo it. So I got a real strong bond, because the pressure you get just off 2,000 litres of water is quite a lot. And believe it or not, by reusing these parts, I've saved over €100, which is just incredible, just from reusing bits, because these metal fittings, they're really expensive. Can't get over the wind today. It's quite nice because there's a nice cool breeze. Right, that's clean enough. So I just get my tape this up, get it on, move on to the next one. Right, that's enough tape on there. Now I just can just screw it on, and that should be great. There we go, that's nice and secure. Obviously this is slightly melted and been in a fire, so it is a bit tough, but it will do the job. So I've just done the same thing and removed all of the tape, well, as much as I could get off this fitting here. And you're probably wondering why there is a fitting either side of the tank. I only need one. I need one to deliver the water down a pipe to the trough for the goats. The other one, like you've just seen me put on there, that's got a valve on the end of it, so I'm just going to keep that closed all the time. This tank was a middle tank, so it fed two other tanks. So this sat in the middle, it would fill up, and all of the tanks would fill up together. So that is why there's two fittings. It makes my work a little bit more complicated, but I've solved the problem and it's easy enough. There we go, taped up, ready. Right, so now that's all taped up nicely. All I gotta do is screw this valve in place. And once that valve's in place, this plastic part will screw into there, and that will receive the 50mm pipe that will run down to the goat's trough. Nice. Right, the tank's ready to put in position and angle it in the direction where I want the pipe to fall. I always decide to do like the heavy lifting jobs when I'm on my own. This is a really heavy tank. It's, I don't know, well, I was gonna say I don't know what it's made of. It's made of plastic, but the hardest plastic you can imagine. Okay. The good thing is the area is fairly flat. If I bring it this way a bit, it really is quite flat and no need to level it. And that is perfect because this valve now is heading directly to the horse box, which is where their water trough is. Luckily I remembered to turn off their electric fence because I've zapped myself right in the crotch before climbing over. So their water tank's down here and I've got this fitting just here. Hello, Sweet Bee. Sweet Pea would probably try and eat it. She likes to eat stuff, don't you? Hello. They're happy to see me. But right here, I've got a fitting which can receive, yes I know, can receive the 50mm pipe that will come from the tank all the way at the top of the hill and go into this tiny fitting here that goes into their trough. So the way this trough works is basically exactly how your toilet works. So the water fills up and then you've got a ball inside the tank that basically floats on the water, lifts up. One of the guys is about to eat the camera there. Lifts up and basically closes a valve to stop the water coming from the tank. So it's completely automatic. We will still obviously have to clean the trough out because it gets pretty dirty fairly quickly. So regular clean out of the trough, but this will stop the process of having to bring buckets of water over from the tap. It's not far, but it's just another thing to do. This will make life so much easier. Won't it, Sweet Pea? You're obsessed with drinking now I'm here. Not drinking at all, and then when I'm here, you want me to watch you drink. So I'm just going to tape all of these components. There's 2 different threads that need taping. And then I need to go and dig out the pipe, which is in the lake. So I've got loads of excess pipe, 50mm pipe in the lake. So I can just cut that down and bring it over here. You're definitely gonna, careful of the camera please. They're nibbling the tripod. You naughty. You are naughty. I should have really done this outside your enclosure and then just brought it in, shouldn't I? And now you're nibbling my leg. Lovely. That camera's definitely falling over. I'm getting a full-on bath by Sweet Pea. She's currently, well, she's eating my shorts now, but she was licking my knee. I absolutely love goats. There's such personality. Ow, that actually hurt. That was your teeth right on my knee. That hurts. Can you chill out? You like eating flesh? You're not living up to your name, are you, Sweet Pea? That actually hurts. Stop that. I've just moved the tripod back because the goats, they're definitely going to knock it over where it was. So it's in a little bit more open area now. So hopefully, luckily it's a GoPro, so if it falls off the tripod, it shouldn't get damaged. Goat proof. Right, one more thread to tape and then ready to go. I know that goats get a really bad rep and it's a shame because they're just amazing creatures. They've got such good personalities. They're adorable. They love hanging out with you. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people online saying how much hard work they are, and I really don't find that. Just as I'm saying that, she's headbutting the tripod, but they're just chill. Fernando's even just turned up, howling. He loves to get a run around from the goats. The goats love chasing him, and he loves getting a chase from the goats. But goats are just, yeah, they're amazing creatures. I would definitely recommend it if you're thinking about farm animals. Get some goats, they're amazing at clearing all of the brush and stuff like that. The good thing is with goats as well is they're fairly low maintenance. We have the farm vet come around, deworms them, vaccinates them, and we trim their hooves regularly. Apart from that, they're pretty chill. Sweet Pea's my apprentice. She's going to be doing the rest of the plumbing around the property. See what I mean? I don't know if I've caught that on camera, but Furrnando was just getting chased by Sweet Pea. So this is how you screw a thread on, look. Sweet Pea, not interested. She knows that I'm going to rope her in to do the rest. That's what happens when you're on your own. You end up roping the goats in to do the work for you. Right, that's on tight. That shouldn't leak at all. There's no better feeling than doing all this plumbing. Can you leave the tripod alone, please? Right, the last thread to go, which is on the actual trough, and then it's ready to be filled. So the next step is in the lake, which is where I'm climbing down to now. I need to get some piping, obviously, to go from the tank all the way to the trough. I don't need a whole lot, but there's some excess in here that I can use, but it's very boggy, so I've got to be careful. So I want to make sure that the pipe is going in to this area nearby where the camera is, because that's the best place to keep it full of water. God, it's getting deep. Hopefully I don't get soaked. Basically, I think I can cut it about here, and then any of the excess, that'll be perfect to go to the trough. There's frogs literally everywhere. Everywhere I stand, there's frogs jumping. Well, I'm gonna cut it here, I think, and that should be enough. Fingers crossed. It's hard to show on camera how steep this bank is. Come on. Furrnando's come to help me. Come on, we need to pull this pipe. You ready? Hold on to it. Go on, pull. Pull. So a slight change of plan to coil this up really small to fit in the back of the UTV is impossible, so I'm literally just going to drag it all the way. So before I do the final valve and set that up, I'm just going to put the hose pipe in here, start filling it up, and then I can check all of the connections that I've done are watertight, which will be very useful. Building controls arrived. Back on the good old PTFE tape. But I think this is the last connection, which is good. Still really windy, but it is a lovely cool breeze. Probably go around about 7 or 8 times. Okay, that'll do. Hello, mate. Try and get this as tight as possible. We just don't want any leaks because this tank's going to be sitting here, and the last thing we want is this water to just drip out. It's not a continuous flow of water. Obviously we can refill it again, but then that's not the purpose of this huge tank. Just cutting a nice clean edge. You want to do this, you don't want one side to be bigger than the other, otherwise you'll just end up getting a leaky pipe. No one likes a leaky pipe. Clean out all the rubbish. Make sure it's nice and smooth. A smooth pipe is best. And then what I like to do is find a natural way that the pipe's bending and work with it. Don't try and force it. Again, if you force it, it's just going to put pressure on the connection. I've done a lot of this piping now on this property and our off-grid property. I've laid a lot of pipe. Hand tighten it the best I can, and then use this amazing plastic tool that really works well. Just loosen that off a bit so I can manipulate the pipe where I want it. I've just emptied their trough, and it's going to sit in this far corner. Gets lots of shade later in the day. Right, again, I'm just gonna find that natural angle of the pipe and just manipulate it a little bit so there's no tension. You want to make sure the pipe goes all the way back to the fitting because there's an O-ring and that's what seals this whole system. Hand tighten this and then do it with the tool and then we should be good to try it. So there should be water coming into the trough now automatically. There it goes. Just check for any leaks. There's no leaks at the actual source tank and there's no leaks here that I can see, but obviously it's not built up with any pressure yet. So we'll give it, don't know how long that's going to take. Good couple of minutes, I think. It's not the fastest. The goats have already come to see what I've been up to, and Sweet Pea's just been drinking out of it and it's not even ready. But here it is, and I've got some ideas for what I'm going to do with this area that I'll explain once it's filled up. So it is just finished filling right to the top, and the valve has turned itself off, so it's all working perfectly. One thing I am going to do really soon in the next couple of days is remove this dead olive tree here. It burnt in the fire and it's not producing anything, it's completely dead. So I'm going to remove that and then bring up the metal fencing that I have that's usually used for when we have vet visits. We put them into an enclosure so the vet can access the goats really easily. And what I'm going to do is surround the trough with that big metal fencing and create a roof over the top of it with shade netting. So I create a really nice shaded corner where they can lie in the summer really nicely low to the ground and generally just have shade all day. Also, it's going to keep their water cooler and covered so nothing can land in it. So they've always got perfect mountain spring water on demand. So as Bee is away, it'd be rude not to get in the hot tub and just chill out for the evening. This is the best way to wind down after a long, hard day on the farm. Hasn't been that hard today, it's been pretty simple, but why not jump in the hot tub? I absolutely love it. This is pretty much the only way I can relax. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching this video and make sure you tune in next week because Bee is going to be back.